with residential clients for a multitude of reasons. So we'll go over some of those reasons in just a second, but I want to give you kind of a visual of what we're thinking this looks like. So somebody comes into your shop, they want to have their computer fixed, or they need, something done, and when they're giving it to you, you say, hey, we have this awesome application that can manage and monitor your computer. We can install it for free, and there's also some other cool stuff that we can offer to you. Do you want us to install it? And so they say yes, and you hopefully install Kabuto on their machine, and you can upsell them on things like managed AV and monitoring, and charge them $5 to $10 or $20 a month, right? So that's kind of the general concept of the residential MSP thing. Now, that's really hard to do, actually, and I think Troy will jump in a minute and talk about his experiences trying to do something similar to that. But the basic reasons why this is actually a really difficult model to pursue currently are, one, it's really hard to automatically bill people. It's not that big of a deal when you're doing this from like an SMB or small business perspective, because they're paying you a lot more money. So when their credit card fails or something like that, it's easy to warrant like going after them and saying like, hey, you didn't pay me. But when the charges are $5 to $10 a month, it just doesn't make sense to have 1 or 2 employees chasing down 20 people a month to get a $5 bill. So the automatic billing part is really difficult and stands in the way of you being successful with this model. The second thing that we've identified as a problem is good integrations with RMMs. So you're basically selling these services, and the whole point is that you don't have to do a bunch of work for every single client to get that $5 to $10 a month. So what you really need in that case is a remote monitoring and management solution that's plug and play, easy to use, and you can just plug in and be ready to go with that. Unfortunately, most of the CRM or PSA solutions, the way that they integrate with the RMMs is not conducive to you doing less work in an automated fashion. So that's another problem we identified. The third is you need really good marketing tools to get this out to people. So it needs to be really easy for people to understand that you offer these services and what that means. Lastly, or actually not last, there's a bunch of problems here. One of the other problems is easy deployment. So it should be really easy to install an agent, know what services you're offering them. If you need to change the services for people, it should be really easy. And like as an example, if I change my pricing on an upgrade or on a particular service, like if I have monitoring plus managed AV and I want to change it from $10 to $12 a month, I shouldn't have to go and manually change like the subscriptions of every single person, right? And then if somebody doesn't pay me, I also should be able to automatically turn off their managed AV, for example. The other thing that we identified is that you need an inexpensive RMM. A lot of these solutions are too expensive for you to offer to residential clients who aren't willing to pay as much as your small business and medium-sized business customers. So like $5 to $10 a month, $15 a month, that's reasonable for a residential person, but you need to have an RMM solution that's cost-effective enough for you to be able to offer that price point and still make profit. Lastly, startup costs. So a lot of the RMM solutions out there and PSA solutions out there require you to invest up front in order to be able to offer these things at that cost-effective price. So whether that's having like a minimum number of endpoints or upfront training costs or something like that, it just makes it very daunting for you to say, I'm going to get into this residential MSP game. So those are kind of the issues that we identified. Troy, do you want to tell that little story you were going to tell about that kind of is an anecdote?
Yeah, definitely. Hey everybody, I'm Troy. I'm the founder of RepairShopr. I'm currently out on paternity leave, but I was just dying to share my little story about this feature. I've got a lot emotionally invested in this, platform that we're working on. So Ian covered it really well. Those problems that make it hard to do this to the residential segment. I experienced these firsthand with my wife in a prior business, so I just wanted to share the story because I think it directly relates. So we bought a web hosting business from a friend who was getting out of the business, and it was literally making like small business websites and doing web hosting. So we would help people through the domain like searching and registration, and then we would like build them a website, we'd do like a WordPress site or whatever, and then we'd host it on our dedicated server where we had this thing called cPanel where we would like create the account and put the site on it. And we would do this manually. So we'd like create their account on the server, we'd get the domain, we'd set up the DNS for the domain, then we'd go into QuickBooks and set up the recurring billing manually. And then what we found was, with a couple hundred sites, the revenue was like decent. It was pretty fun. And then like if a recurring invoice stopped collecting because someone's credit card started getting declined, we would have to like send that person an email saying, hey, we need a new credit card for you, and they would never reply to that email. And then we'd call them, and then we'd maybe get a credit card over the phone, and it takes us like 45 minutes to update one like $15 charge to collect that money. So there's all this setup stuff that was manual, and then all this like chasing down money. And we might have been like extra disorganized or something, but I think if you don't have this automation, this was an easy situation to get into. But we had like 100 sites that were active and online that we were paying for, where people had stopped paying like months prior, and we just didn't have any easy way to like surface those, see them, automatically shut them off. And then, years later in our MSP business, our average, we even had a minimum $500 a month for a small business. So, most of our customers were like 5, 10, 20 computers. When someone's giving you $500 a month and mailing a check, it's really easy to have someone like Ian was saying, go look for that, like, hey, here's a statement, it looks like we missed a payment, can you send us that $500? Like, I'll spend much more than 45 minutes calling someone to try and get a $500 payment. But when the price point is like $15 or $5, that becomes really hard. Sorry, I've got some background noise here. So, yes, that's my story. Basically, that business, we had to shut it down because we could not manage it just sheerly due to like having no automation. Having no, like, customers need a place where they can go, put in their info, and everything is all set up automatically, and you don't even have to touch a thing. So that was kind of one of the goals in this platform, and that very painful personal story is kind of what's driving a lot of this. We hope for none of you to have any of that pain once you're using the software. Okay, Ian, Bobby, back to you guys.
Cool. I think Bobby was actually going to kind of give us the sneak peek. Bobby, you want to?
Yeah, definitely. So let's get this full screen taken away. All right. So many of you, I'm sure, are aware or currently using Kabuto already, and there's tons of things that Kabuto already does within RepairShopr, like people from their desktop where the agent's installed is they're able to request help, and it will go to your leads section. When you are kind of configuring the integration, the customers from Kabuto, and I'll click Restart Wizard here, maybe make myself a little bit nervous about this refresh screen, but basically the customers from Kabuto get pulled over, and then you're able to match them up with customers in RepairShopr. Along with that, the assets will be pulled over, and you can, from this screen, make sure that they're all linked up, and that kind of thing. And then going forward, the agents that are installed on their computers, when there's an alert, they get sent over to RepairShopr, and in one button click, you're in and starting your work. The whole process is meant to be very streamlined, very easy, meant to save you time. That's kind of the idea here. So the next evolution we thought would be to start building out the residential MSP business, so that even if you're not in that space now, you have the easy ability to move into that space to start generating recurring revenue. After all, that's kind of like a goal from a lot of businesses, is guaranteed money. So while we're here, I went ahead and clicked on through the Kabuto wizard. When you're first setting it up, you'll go through and you'll see a continue to recur feature that'll take you through the Recur wizard, and we'll go through that in just a second. It's worth noting for those of you that are currently using Kabuto, if you're using the default customer as a catch-all, you're going to want to actually spend the time to make sure that your customers are actually attached individually. Otherwise, if you start to use the Recur feature, it will actually build just one customer and makes everything difficult. So you don't want to do that. I wanted to point that out a little bit. And the devs have been working really hard making it easier for you to link customers up. So if you click this change button here, I believe a pop-up should show on your screen in a moment. There we go. You can actually use the RepairShopr Elasticsearch now to search for customers to link them up. So we've made the process, again, as streamlined as possible. So once you have your customers and everything all set up, at least initially with the Kabuto integration, you can click Continue to Recur, and Recur will then, as soon as my page loads here, take you over to the Kabuto policy packages section. So one of the really cool things that was recently released in Kabuto is that the Kabuto policies were rolled out, and you're able to create policies there, and through this wizard you're able to have those get automatically pulled over, and RepairShopr will automatically create products in your inventory mirroring those in Kabuto. So one other thing you need to do before you start setting up the Recur feature is to make sure that you have all of your Kabuto policy packages named correctly. The names are important because they will get pulled into RepairShopr. You do, of course, have the opportunity to make these changes. I know some of you may not want to go with the default names, and that's okay. Again, you can use the search to look up an existing product, and then you can click Update and continue on. So I'm going to hit Continue here. All right, and then for many of you, this will be pretty familiar. You're able to set up a recurring, kind of like what the recurring invoices look like. You can set different frequencies. We typically recommend monthly, and generally speaking, this is probably going to be familiar territory for a lot of you, so I won't spend a whole lot of time here. When you're finished configuring it, you hit Save Subscription Template. Keep in mind, it doesn't actually create any invoices. This is just setting up the structure. The next thing that shows up is toggling the ability to allow customers to enroll themselves. I think that's one of the bigger key features here, is that you're going to want to make this as easy and as quick as possible. And so encouraging people to sign up without you having to do anything is, really the end goal, at least in my eyes. You can make changes to these two options through the Recur feature in the App Center later on if you want. So we're going to hit Finish. And now we're back on the Recur settings page, and you can see everything's all lined up. And again, if you ever need to, you have the ability to hide those two options and go back through the wizard. So let's talk about how to actually go about setting this up. So it's, again, designed to be very streamlined. So what I will do now is I'm going to kind of skip over to a customer I already created. I figure most of you have already seen that. I don't want to bore anyone there. Here on the customer screen, this is a brand new customer that maybe just walked into your business, or you're maybe on site with them, never been in your business before. Once it's all set up, all you need to do is go New, and then select Kabuto Installer. A pop-up will come up. I'll wait for your screen to refresh here, where you can choose which of the packages you want to install locally on this person's computer. You select whichever one you want, and then it'll install. And from there, it'll install the agent, the Kabuto agent, on the person's computer. All that asset information and all the details for Kabuto get instantly linked. And then from that point, the Kabuto integration will sync over to RepairShopr. The asset information gets pulled, and it's all super, super clean. It'll look something like this on a different customer. You'll see the asset information automatically refresh, and it'll automatically get pulled into RepairShopr without you having to do anything. The really neat thing here is after you install the Kabuto agent, you can then go Kabuto subscription. Go to this one. Sorry about that, folks. New Kabuto subscription. And then from here, you can add a credit card for them so that the automatic billing will happen. Or if they're already a Kabuto customer, you can proceed. And it'll take you to the recurring invoice creation screen. And again, you can choose all the specific details you may want about that particular subscription. And one of the really neat things is that the installer and Kabuto actually communicate. So when you install it, it'll automatically detect the package that this person has, and it will add it to the recurring invoice so that you don't have to remember what package or anything like that they may be on. At that point, it's pretty much all set to go, and it'll start to cycle at whatever you see fit. It is really important to also note one of the newer features as well that we have set up is that if the recurring billing fails for some reason on that particular customer, it will actually automatically try and retry on its own. So we had some people give us feedback about wanting that as a feature and that kind of thing. So we spent a little bit of time to make sure that you can cycle that, or it will cycle automatically, so that you can not have to worry as much about that stuff, especially with residential MSPs. So I a little bit ago spoke about how somebody could sign up on their own. So in the customer profile, if you click into the link and scroll down, there will be a Subscribe Now Proactive Management and Monitoring section. They can click See Packages, and it will take them to a screen that will list all of the packages that are available that are part of the integration. They can then click which one they want, enter their credit card information. After they've entered their credit card information, it will then prompt them to download the package, and they're able to install it. Customers able to do all of this on their own without you having to be there.
Hey, Bobby, can I interrupt for 1 sec?
Absolutely.
We got a question about the packages. I think this is a good time to just kind of recap some of what you went over. So the way that Kabuto defaulted the policies for everyone was just giving you like some reasonable defaults. You can have whatever policies you want in Kabuto. You could have 100 different price plans with all different pricing and all different default settings in Kabuto. And then in the RepairShopr side, when all those are mapped, those can all be mapped to different products with different price points. The policies just gives us a really cool way to kind of map that to a product in RepairShopr and figure out the pricing. So we'll share some resources that some of the community members have shared with us. We did a town hall the other day that we recorded, so we'll get that link out to people too probably. But lots of people have 3 or 4 packages. Some have 5 or 6, all different pricing. We've seen everything from $5 a month to maybe $40, $50 a month is maybe at the top end of what we've seen in the residential. So when you see these like sample 4 packages in our screens, it's just the kind of reasonable defaults we're going with. Lots of people will go customize those and have many more, but that's kind of like an easy way to start out.
Yeah, great question. Yeah. So some of you may have also noticed as I've been navigating that there is a Recur tab you can navigate to now, and I'll go ahead and click on that. And what this will do is this is going to list all of your recurring invoices for Recur, and man, that's a mouthful. And you're able to quickly get to the customers. We're going to be adding the ability to jump directly to the invoice as well, so that you can make changes or view it as you see fit. But this is kind of meant to give you an idea of what your annual revenue is, monthly revenue, all of that good stuff. There is a settings button here. You can click that, and it'll take you directly into the Recur settings. And again, you can restart the wizard and go through and make any changes that you may necessarily be looking for and that kind of thing. The other really cool feature we've added is in the marketer section. There is, I'll scroll down here, a Kabuto marketing email that you can actually send out, And again, it behaves a lot like all of the other marketing campaigns, but the big difference here is that you can include a button for the customers to actually click, and it will take them directly to this page. Right now, it's it's just kind of a preview of what that button will do, but the idea is they'll go to this page where the customer can then pick the package, add their billing, sign up and do all of that without you having to really do anything. Yeah, I mean, with that, I see tons of questions, and I think we'll handle some more of the questions after we get through the rest of the content today. I think at this point, Ian, I think you wanted to talk a little bit about maybe how people can, maybe pitch it, or
yeah, definitely.
Would you guys mind if we do a little bit of the question stuff now as we go, just because they're piling up like crazy, and some of them are on stuff you guys just talked about.
Sure.
Yeah, so is this PCI compliant for stored cards? Yes, RepairShopr has multiple credit card gateways that work. You can use Stripe, Authorize.net, or Vantiv. All of those are very compliant. Let's see here, when will this be live? We hope it'll be live early next week. This is a sneak peek. It is not ready for everybody quite yet, but we've got some beta testers using it, and it's working really well. Let me see, there was more. Does this automatically send invoice to client? Cannot be disabled. It can be disabled. Okay, I think that's good. You guys take it away.
Cool. Yeah, so it seems like we have this super awesome automation system for setting up a residential MSP. Bobby already went over this a little bit, but like the key thing here is, okay, I have this really awesome system. Now, how do I sell this? So we actually talked to a bunch of MSPs the other day. Some of you who were there are probably in this webinar as well, and kind of just queried people about what they do to be successful running a residential MSP. And one of the really cool things that we discovered was that people were actually offering this to their clients at check-in, which I thought was a pretty important distinction. So the way that that works is they come in, and when they have their computer broken or they need service on it, that's when you tell them, hey, I have this awesome thing called Kabuto I can install on your machine. It can help you manage and maintain everything, and I will make sure that everything is running smoothly. And the key thing there is to offer that to them when they come in, as opposed to when they pick up the machine, because they're very much in a different mindset there. So if you can install this on every single machine, regardless of if you are giving them a paid upgrade, so you install it for free on every single machine. If they want to come and go into their self-service kiosk there, they can add Manage AV on their own and start paying you for it. So it's a really good way to just get the word out. We also have, Bobby, if you can go to the RepairTech Solutions website, we also have resources for you guys to offer like pamphlets and stuff. So we have white labelable pamphlets you can print out for both the managed antivirus and then also the whole Kabuto thing itself. So yes, perfect. So you basically just take this, customize it with your own logo and everything, insert your own screenshot, you're good to go. You just print it out. Very, very straightforward. Bobby, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, really the key time for those that are just approaching this for the first time, maybe haven't done a lot of research, is that you want to start talking about this when the customer is initially in front of you, and talking about the benefits. I mean, I've been in the IT realm for a long time, and it can be scary trying to introduce something like this to somebody for the first time, but it has a lot of huge benefits for the customer. I mean, quickly comes to mind, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. Personally, I'm kind of the IT person for my family, so my mother-in-law seems to infect her computer, every other week. So having a service like this running on her computer, you know, for $5, $10 a month, knowing in the back of my mind that she's going to have help and things like that. Try and make it, you know, the stories that you give to those customers personal and make them relatable so that people think about it from that context. And then suddenly it clicks that, you know, maybe $5 to $10 a month is worth me not having to log into her computer and have your business do it, that kind of thing. So just try and think about it from that perspective, and it starts to become a lot more clear.
Totally. I also kind of wanted to mention, and Troy might have some thoughts on this as well, this is kind of like a brand new revenue model or business model for shops. There are people that have been doing residential MSP stuff, but I don't think there's anything this streamlined out there that I know of. So when we're launching this, we're super excited to see how it'll work for people. We've been testing it and working on it for a long time, and the customer feedback so far has been awesome. So super excited to get this out to you guys. I do want to mention one thing. You probably noticed, could you go to the App Center, Bobby?
Yeah.
You guys probably noticed that there's like a premium thing on this. We're thinking that this will be like $19 a month or something for this. That being said, if you don't see a full return on your investment and you're not satisfied with it, we're more than happy to give you a full money back guarantee and everything. We think this is going to be super awesome for people, but just give it a try and let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
One of the questions was the branding and package names. Bobby, could you show, just so people get to see it with their own eyes? So lots of people have their like residential MSP plans named differently. So maybe they don't call it monitoring and AV, they call it like Tech Watch Plus. Yeah, these are just like placeholder names we use that come from the Kabuto policies. And you can hit edit on these and name them anything you want. And when you add policies in Kabuto, they'll automatically appear here. So totally, you name these whatever you want, trace them however you want, put whatever description on them you want. They'll show in the customer portal and they'll show on the invoice that way. So definitely you get to, you know, do all the things you expect in the naming. Thanks for showing that.
Yeah, of course. That was a great question. It's an important question.
I think there's another question here that maybe is worth going into. So can you show them how they can add their own line items if they have like another product that they want to make? So like you don't have to restrict this to just Kabuto. If you wanted to offer, like some people have said they offer iDrive or some other managed backup solution, if you currently already have that and you want to make that a part of your residential MSP thing, you can still add that to your plans. It just won't be automated as far as deployment goes.
Oh yeah, let me speak to that for a sec. So tons of these questions are about managed backup. So if you had, you know, Cloudberry or iDrive or iBackup or whatever, and you have some backup software you like and you wanted to bundle that into your residential MSP plan, just hypothetically, you could go get one of those iDrive reseller accounts and create a plan for someone at like 10 gigs. And then when you set them up in Kabuto, that policy would be called, you know, whatever residential plan with backups. You put Kabuto on the computer and then you also install iDrive and put them on that plan. And then all that wouldn't be automated is if they stop paying for whatever reason and we automatically shut off that Kabuto computer, someone would have to like go and turn off the iDrive thing because we wouldn't have an automated way to do that. But you can totally do that today already. Someone says Stripe won't work with computer support companies. We have Stripe in there for this reason. It does work. I'll just speak to this very briefly, but Stripe shut off the computer repair category years ago because of the online computer repair like fraud stuff that was going on. And then years ago, like I think it probably even says in our knowledge base, Stripe started allowing computer repair as long as you like have a store or a physical presence and your website isn't like remotecomputerhelp.com or whatever. As long as you don't look like one of those tech support scammers, what we've heard from Stripe and seen from the hundreds of people using RepairShopr in computer repair that have Stripe is they will allow it in at least some cases. So if And then if you don't like Stripe or want to use Stripe, or they tell you you can't use Stripe, you can definitely use Vantiv. Vantiv has no contract, no monthly fees. They're going to beat Stripe's prices. We've negotiated a really cool deal with Vantiv. So definitely worth checking out Vantiv.
Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of people asking when we're releasing this. Are we wanting to say that? We're looking to release it soon?
Yeah, hopefully early next week.
Okay. I've been saying I'm not sure how the answers to the questions appear to the attendees, but I've been answering some of them publicly. We're planning to release early next week if things go well. If they don't, we could push that back a little bit. Someone asked how the billing will work, like how you guys will get billed by RepairShopr. It's just going to be an add-on to the plan, most likely, kind of like Domo. Is there a way to automate iDrive backup within this? Not currently. A couple people have asked about that. What about logos, etc.? If I use my own logo within Kabuto, will that automatically show in the Kabuto self-serve part of Client Portal and RS? You get an HTML editor. Bobby, can you show that in the product description thingy? So you'll be able to use your own web page and link into the buy area, or you'll be able to, put graphics in. This is an HTML editor where you could, click the image thing and host an image on Imager or your website or whatever. So you can definitely put images in there. If you already have your Kabuto branding hooked up, this is hooked up to your Kabuto account, so all that stuff will continue to work as expected. More people talking about Stripe. Yeah, there's definitely people doing it. Ian, do you have any ideas on how to use other antivirus? That someone asked to use other
yeah, I mean, we don't, right now Kabuto only has MTsoft. We don't have any immediate plans to change that. But I would say if you want to use a different antivirus, you can do it in the same way that we just showed you. You can do it with managed backup. So you can still sell them a different antivirus and use this integration and add it as a line item.
So many questions.
Yeah, I'm going through them. They keep coming in.
Bobby, did you get through? I kept interrupting you for the Q&A stuff because it seemed contextual, but did you get through all the stuff you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, the idea really that we're trying to convey is that you're able to accomplish this very quickly. You're going to want to start to install, the Kabuto agents on every computer you get, and the idea then is to, talk about it at the initial part of the repair, and then when, you leave the site or you give the device back to the customer, that would be installed, and the idea is that the customer feels protected and you're generating money, and ideally you're not going to be on this every single day and things like that, but that money is coming in automatically, and it's not something you necessarily need to think about. And even if it were, there was a problem with the billing, it automatically tries to reapply, which has been a limitation of recurring invoices in the past. We've overcome that. So there's a lot of things that allow you to quickly start making money without you having to jump between a bunch of different screens and things like that. You still have to install the agent on the computer. We're not quite there yet, but that's pretty much, outside of clicking which subscription they want, all the work you have to do. So it's very, very easy. Ian, did you have anything else you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting questions in here. One is from Gabriel. It says, do I have to use at least the one-man army plan before I can use Kabuto? Kabuto is completely separate, so you can go sign up for Kabuto and be on whatever plan you want there. And that's just at Kabuto or RepairTechSolutions.com. But I don't actually know on the RepairShopr side. Do they need to be on a particular plan?
You would need to be on
that paid plan to get to invoices. Yes, you do need to be on one of the paid plans.
Let's see.
My GoToWebinar panel doesn't let me answer the questions anymore, so maybe I'll just start reading them and answering them verbally. Lots of stuff about logos. Vantiv isn't available in the UK. Any plans to integrate GoCardless? I would love to. It hasn't happened yet, but I can see that coming in a Recur version 2. I'll just leave that at that.
They're asking, Ian, if the Kabuto agent is okay with PCI and HIPAA.
Definitely PCI.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any, there's no like credit card, we don't store any payment information. We use Stripe actually for our payment processing, so we don't have any like payment stuff on our servers or anything. Yeah, definitely PCI. We're not HIPAA compliant. Probably never will be, but that doesn't mean...
RepairShopr's in the same boat. We have a page in our help section that talks about that, but we take security very seriously, but we've not gone through HIPAA compliance and don't plan to.
Yeah, same boat.
Someone says, why are you calling it residential? Won't this work for SMBs as well? It totally will. We think when you get down in the how do I put it? At the lower tier pricing, where this type of tooling is most necessary, it's probably usually residential, but you could 100% definitely use this for small business. The small business can already probably get by with just a recurring invoice that's already in RepairShopr. You know, if you're setting someone up, you know, a couple $100 invoice, the tooling there is probably good. I think the real key here is you could sell, you know, every person that walks in your break-fix shop managed antivirus at $10 a month, and you don't have to worry about like what happens when their credit card expires. Like, it's just the automation's going to take care of it. But yeah, it definitely works for small business. People keep talking about.
Got a question here. Somebody says, did they see something about Cloudberry while I was configuring a recurring invoice? You did actually. RepairShopr has an integration with Cloudberry so that you can sell metered backups. And so if you want yet another revenue stream, I've definitely checked that out. Cloudberry in the App Center. We have a pretty thorough guide for setting that up. Pretty easy as well, and we've even worked out a really killer deal with Cloudberry so that you get a really deep discount on their services as well, and then you can add, again, metered backup to RepairShopr's recurring invoices and things like that. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, just on that for 2 seconds. Cloudberry didn't have a way to do metered, like if you wanted to charge someone per gigabyte per month, that just didn't exist. So we built that billing integration maybe a year ago. So you can set someone up in your recurring invoice, link up your Cloudberry account, and then every month when the invoice runs, it looks at how many gigs they're storing and can use that as like the quantity field basically on the recurring invoice. So you can set up a plan for like $1 a gig, and then, you know, if they've got 100 gigs backed up, it'll just bill them $100 for that month. We've got a blog post on that and lots of documentation about that, but that can give you like fully automated. Actually, now that I think about it, it's not nearly as automated as this new stuff is. So if their credit card were to start being declined, you have to go like stop their backups. So that's a great example of why Recur is so powerful. If you get people whose credit cards are declined with this functionality in Recur, we will automatically, if you want, there's a setting for it that probably shouldn't, but we'll automatically turn off the paid add-ons on those Kabuto computers, so you're no longer paying for stuff that people aren't paying you for. So hopefully we could do that someday to Cloudberry as well, but for now, this will be the only place where we have that level of automation.
Got another question here about yearly. So can you, if you actually go back to the page you're just on,
Sure.
you can totally bill people yearly. So if you wanted to do monthly, that's what we have as default, but there's all kinds of options.
Kevin said in the knowledge base it says Vantiv doesn't support stored credit card data. If that's in the knowledge base somewhere, that is wrong.
Definitely.
We will look for that. They have always supported stored credit cards. Authorize, Stripe, and Vantiv.
Yeah, I'll go look after the meeting and see if it's there, and if it is, I'll correct that.
A bunch of people are asking about the payment gateways. I would just say, these are regular RepairShopr recurring invoices that are being generated. So you don't have to use the stored card, and you don't have to use one of those gateways. You can set this up and just tell it to email them the invoice, and they can mail you a check, or they can PayPal you. It works just like regular RepairShopr recurring invoices. So all the reasonable things just work. The thing to keep in mind is, if you go through the hassle of setting up another merchant account with Vantiv or whatever to get that automation, we can automatically retry the credit card, which is a new functionality that's been added for this. So 5 days later, we'll try the card again, and 5 days after that, we'll try the card again, and we'll be emailing them saying, the card was declined. Please click here to update your payment information. This is all new stuff in RepairShopr for this launch. And then if the second retry fails, it can shut off their paid services. So if you're not using stored credit cards in RepairShopr, you can still use the rest of this whole platform, just that automatic retry and the automatic shutting off won't be able to function.
Yeah, it looks like we got a question about terms and conditions. Yes, it's definitely recommended that you make adjustments to your terms and conditions through the PDF and email templates to, say, your intake form, your ticket, terms and conditions, and maybe even your invoice disclaimers with verbiage that you may be installing this on the computer and all of that stuff. I don't think we have like a paragraph or something exactly that you can copy and paste. You should probably customize it to the needs of your own business. But yeah, definitely look at making some adjustments when you start up Recur for that.
We got a question about how much Recur costs. I think we said it a couple times, but just to clarify, I think it's going to be a RepairShopr add-on, and it'll be $19 a month. But it will be, if you don't make your money on it, we will offer you a full refund. So just get started and see how it goes. And yes, this is being recorded for everyone that's asking. We'll send out a recording after the webinar.
There's been a number of questions about, does this need RepairShopr, or why is this just in RepairShopr? Is this a RepairShopr add-on? Definitely, yeah. This is all built in RepairShopr using Kabuto's API with a lot of help from them to give us the hooks we needed, but this is definitely a RepairShopr feature. The recurring billing is all there. Yeah, it's going to need RepairShopr to use this.
Yeah, and for those saying, like, why can't we have this in Kabuto? There's like nothing for anything like this in Kabuto at the moment. So like if we were going to build this kind of stuff without RepairShopr's help, it would take us like years. So that's just kind of not really a realistic option given the awesome stuff we're trying to release in the next 6 months. So it just makes a lot more sense for us to use RepairShopr as the payment side of that.
Can I share my screen for a second, Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me hand it off.
No. There's a question, can you show us what the Kabuto alerts look like? Is there a dashboard that shows overall alert status for all clients? So I'm just going to show the RepairShopr, a couple different ways we have to view that stuff.
Yeah, I dropped my screen, so you should be able to, I believe, share yours now.
I think you have to pass it to me. Well, you can show it, Bobby. Just show RepairShopr.
Oh, I passed it to you.
Okay.
There was a little bit of a delay.
Okay, so in RepairShopr, we've got ticket screen. Hopefully my screen is showing now.
Yep.
Under ticket modules, there's a dashboard. In the dashboard, you can see all the tickets. You can customize this very heavily. So different time frames will trigger different color changes and stuff. And then in RepairShopr, there's a concept of a RMM alert, remote machine management. Kabuto is one of those. So for, hey, we don't have any right now. But basically, when a machine in Kabuto triggers an alert, they will funnel into here, and you can choose if you want to turn them into a ticket or not. These do also show up on this screen right up top here, so you can get a quick heads-up display of like new alerts coming in, and you can quickly turn them into trouble tickets and such. So I'd say that's probably the best place to look at it. Let me see if I can find an example RMM alert from one of the others. Yeah. Okay, so here's a couple. Someone's computer, hard drive, boot volume is approaching capacity. This is the type of stuff you'll see. So there'll be an alert, it'll have some data, it'll attach to the computer. You can one click and turn it into a ticket. This is an example from another tool, but it looks exactly the same. So that's kind of what those alerts will look like in RepairShopr. A new feature that Kabuto released, oh sorry about the noise here. A new feature Kabuto released recently was the ability to be able to control very granularly what types of triggers either show the end user, email to yourself, or get sent to RepairShopr. So you can have like the critical ones get sent over to RepairShopr, and all of them pop up and show the user there was a problem, and maybe a couple different ones like email to you. You've got really good granular controls now for where alerts get sent. That just landed, I think, on the Kabuto side maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So definitely go look for that in your policies and device settings.
Yeah, Troy, if you actually, I can screen share and show that.
Cool, I just stopped. Yeah, maybe give a tour of that kind of stuff.
Cool. So this is a demo account. A couple things that we recently added that are super awesome. When you're creating a new customer in Kabuto, it will sync with your RepairShopr account, and you can type any customer, and it will, in this autocomplete here, pull all of those people. So I can just click this person, and it'll autofill that information, and I can click create. So then it'll tie it to your RepairShopr customer. So that's one really fun thing. Troy mentioned the ability to customize the notifications that go to RepairShopr. So let me find one of the devices. If I go to settings here, you can now choose which alerts get sent to RepairShopr, which should turn down the noise a lot, and that is awesome. Let's see. I believe in addition to that, it's not on this account right now, but you'll be able to click a button on this page, and it will go straight to the RepairShopr recurring invoice. Am I missing anything else, Troy or Bobby?
No.
No, I think you got it.
Cool. We got a lot of random Kabuto questions. Maybe I can just like highlight those really quickly. One is, does this integrate with TechSuite? Kabuto does not yet integrate with TechSuite, but we at some point will have scripting in Kabuto, and that will take advantage of the TechSuite engine, essentially, to enable you to automate a bunch of tasks out of the box. So that'll be really fun. That is definitely on the roadmap. I should also mention, because we're getting a bunch of questions here, it's also on our roadmap to make it easier for you to remote into computers. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but from Kabuto right now, there's not a good enough integration to remote into computers. So that is certainly something that we want to work on.
I got 2 more questions I want to touch. Where's the one I was looking for? Is there an import feature for customers to get some ConnectWise or Autotask? Yes, there definitely is already a ConnectWise importer. Bobby, is there also an Autotask one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yes, we have those. The other, does the billing summary show who has been declined payment? Ian, is that possible to show the status here in this account? It looks like it might not.
I don't think we have that feature flag enabled, but I think there's a red light, green light thing that'll be here for subscriptions.
On the screen, you'll be able to see at a glance like who's got an active subscription, and it'll turn red if their billing fails, so it'll be really easy to see. But yeah, that one doesn't have it turned on for whatever reason.
Yep.
Looks like the questions seem to be slowing down a little bit.
Is that for customers only or tickets as well? Yeah, we'll import customers and subcontacts and ticket history. The ConnectWise API has been known to just not work if you have like many thousands of tickets. I've seen a couple people that have like 20,000 tickets and the API would just never return an answer. So I'm not sure how well that works right this second, but definitely check it out and open a ticket with our technical support and we'll help you through that.
Ian, someone says they see an alert from a Mac. Does Kabuto run on a Mac?
Sorry, I should watch my monitoring alert.
Kabuto does not yet run on Macs. That is not something we're doing in the immediate future. It would be cool. We like the idea of doing it, but we have a lot of other stuff that we want to work on first. There's a question about, does Kabuto work on standard user accounts yet? Many of you probably already know this, but we are currently doing a beta of what we call the Kabuto service. From a technical perspective, that is turning Kabuto from a process into a Windows service, which enables us to have it work on standard user accounts. That beta is going really, really well, and we're hoping to launch that feature to everyone very soon. So yes, we will be able to run it on standard user accounts very shortly, probably within like a week and a half.
I just requested to get us back into the beta for this feature, so you should be able to see the billing state here. Oh, is that page not loading for you? Our test accounts usually have something broken with them because we're always goofing around with pre-release features. Okay, maybe I broke our account. Sorry about that. But yeah.
It's cool. It happens.
There's a column that says billing that'll appear and you can sort by that. It's pretty slick on the Kabuto side.
Looks like we had some questions about where people can find out more information about Recur.
Oh, here we go. It's working now. Troy, do you want to talk to this?
Oh yeah, I'll talk to it. So RepairShopr invoices paid, that's just showing, those subscriptions are happy, meaning there's a subscription that was created that is not past due. So as soon as we have trouble collecting on one, like an invoice attached to the subscription is past due, those will turn red. So yeah, super quick way to see who's current and who isn't.
To answer your question about more information about Recur, and those asking if we're recording, yes, we are recording, and we will be releasing a ton of more information as we get closer to releasing the application and, the integration. And yeah, look forward to a lot more information because this is something we've been building up to for a while.
Yeah, for those late attendees, people have been asking, what's this going to cost? It's going to be $19 a month on the RepairShopr side, and it's going to use your regular RepairShopr account and your regular Kabuto account.
Well, with that, it looks like we've gotten to a good chunk of the questions. Is there anything else we wanted to share?
think we're good on mine.
Yeah, me too. Thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah, thank you everyone. We appreciate your attention and we look forward to you trying out Recur very, very soon. Have a great day.